How's it going, everyone? I'm going to react to some of these clips again. Let's check them out. Sorry, I had to pause the music. That's really interesting. I'd like to get a good look at that. You know, like in person. I'd love to see stuff like that. I don't know if it's good or bad exactly. I don't know. I'd have to see the symbols again. But what do you guys think? Look pretty cool. I'm gonna try to find some more videos like that with old stuff like that.
Talking, sometimes I forget that he's supposed to be in this disguise, and I keep calling him Mike. Right, and this little girl hears it. She's like, and she looks over, and I think she recognized him. Like, I really think she did. So then when I realized she was peeping, then I start calling him Dave.
That disguise to him was the burn victim look. Just
it was a disguise?
It was a disguise to him.
So he grabbed the kids. They looking normal. Mike comes out. He has his disguise on,
How did he find out about you, Dave?
He heard about me and he had contacted me.
Songs come at the strangest times. I could be walking through a park or something and it'll just hit you. Every time I get a platinum album, it's never taken lightly on my behalf. I'm always honored, and it's great thanks,
They looking normal. Mike comes out. He has his disguise on.
That disguise to him was the burn victim.
And Dave, yes, that's his name.
So then when I realized she was peeping, then I start calling him Dave.
Sorry, I paused it, but I know there's a ton of different conspiracies about Michael Jackson. I think he's one of them. So, I mean, it's hard telling what that dude's done,
When you go about writing, what happens?
Songs come at the strangest times. I could be walking.
How did he find out about you, Dave?
He heard about me and he had contacted me.
And they knew the world wasn't ready to see that Michael Jackson, so they had to keep him alive. Remember what I said prior. They've been cloning since 1945. So Michael comes back 2 years later. He looks nothing like the real Michael Jackson, but people buy into it. He can still dance because the clones is good mimicker. They're good at mimicking, man. That's what they do. So he got all his moves, but he was a little bit stiffer. I don't know if y'all look at the old Michael and then look at the new Michael. He's a little bit stiffer. Okay. Now, when Michael first came back, didn't nobody really know how to take it. All right. Because I can't recall if Billie Jean came out before the Pepsi commercial. But Michael sold his soul way before then, because he did the Wiz commercial when Billie Jean wasn't even thought of. When he did the Wiz play, when he said you can't get in, you can't get out the game, Michael sold his soul a long time ago, because Joe Jackson sold his children out long ago, and Joe Jackson forced his kids to have sex with Berry Gordy and Quincy Jones and amongst the other executive producers. Them boys was molested long ago. All right? That's about Michael.
You've put out some very strange tweets of late about cloning. What is it about cloning? Do you want to get cloned, or are celebrities getting cloned?
Yeah, man, I think people should look it up, man. I don't really want to say too much, but I will say do your own research.
You sound like a conspiracy theorist.
I'm not really a conspiracy theorist. It's no more conspiracy. I know. And so it's really up to each person to do their own research and come to your own truths, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we as people listen too much to what somebody tells us, and we don't actually go background check and really say, you know what, that really don't add up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you really look at a lot of different things and you start to think. And so what I like to do is I like to provoke thought, you know, and provoking thought is the least you could do. You can't make somebody believe something. You really got to just provoke thought.
Would you like to be cloned?
Would I like to be?
Yeah.
Am I already cloned?
Oh, are you already cloned?
I'd rather not say. But
that means there's a possibility that you could already be cloned.
Yes, there's a possibility. But, you know, I know I'm me because my fingernails look the same and I have dreams too.
And also, too, y'all need to pay attention to these other celebrities when they're leaving hints. They're leaving clues all over the place. Everybody can't talk. Everybody can't talk because, you know, they got kids or, you know, they made some type of agreement. But pay attention. Everybody who's in this shit or who's in this industry or who has a clone is not evil or malicious. Some people just got born into this shit, like me.
It's not just about copying a person. It's about consciousness transfer, and it started with MK Ultra. And the reason why this is important is because it's a lot of people that are unwillingly participating in this shit, and they don't even fucking know it. It's mind control, and it started with Germany. It started after World War II. All the Nazis were, you know, escorted, VIP'd in. All the top scientists and military personnel were harbored in the United States and South America. And also, prior to that, the Nazis went to Antarctica. And a lot of the reason why Admiral Byrd went to Antarctica was because the Nazis were in Antarctica. Yes, Warner von Braun, exactly. Fucking props, Aaron Badescu. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, my bad. But Warner von Braun is actually he actually started NASA, I believe. And on Warner von Braun's tombstone, he has a Bible verse that talks about the firmament. So,
yeah, there's a lot of stuff mentioned there. The Warner von Braun and the firmament. On his the verse on his tombstone. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. But the cloning. I mean, what do you guys think? You think cloning's real? I do. I think there's enough evidence for it. They talked about it since the 90s. I think they've been able to do it since long before that. But you know, I don't know. Some of these celebrities, I don't know, they don't look right sometimes after certain events. And the whole how they're raised in these societies, yeah, I think they're abused, and I think they're brought up in that, and then they do it to their children, or I think they do the same stuff. I think it's a cycle that just keeps repeating. But what do you guys think? Let's play the next clip.
This is coming out of Moorhead, Kentucky, off of a couple's security cam. They captured what looks to be some sort of unidentified creature. There have been theories abounded regarding it, from aliens to wendigos to ghosts. I don't know what this could be. It's definitely humanoid, and it seems to be naked, but I don't know exactly what this creature could be. Could it be that the veil is truly thinning and we are starting to see interdimensional beings, or things that have been there the whole time that we've just never caught on camera and now we are? Tell me what you think. Like, post, comment, repost, let me know. Don't forget to subscribe.
What do you think that thing is? You think it's some dude? You think this is real, or you think it's a cryptid type thing? So I definitely think cryptids exist. I don't know. A lot of them are goofy looking. I mean, I think it might be from genetic manipulation, you know, like how the fallen angels did to create the Nephilim, you know, mating with human women, or I think they might have used genetic modification in some way. I don't know exactly, of course, but I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's see. What's this next one?
Could get you killed. This is Pedophile Island, North Fox Island in Michigan. This island has an airstrip built on it by the pedophile owner that he used to fly children in and out of here back in the 1970s. We had a flight set up to get there with people that were local, and they canceled on us 2 days in a row. They even claimed that the runway was going to be too muddy. So instead of giving up, we found someone with a boat and we made our way out there. And guess what? Once we got out to the island, it wasn't muddy at all. Now, this ring was ran by a man named Francis Sheldon. And in these very rooms and cabins, multiple children were assaulted and photographed and videotaped while these assaults were happening. These videos and photos were then sold into pedophile rings all across America. And before Francis Sheldon could be arrested, he took off from this island on his private plane using this very airstrip, and he fled to Amsterdam. He was never arrested. In fact, only one guy was ever arrested connected to this ring, and he served 2 years in prison before getting out and assaulting another child. This pedophile ring is also closely tied to the Oakland County child killings, and we explored all of this in my newest documentary on YouTube. It's on there now if you want to watch.
Yeah, these people are gross. They bottom of the barrel type people. I think some of this stuff probably does happen on islands. Like, I know the whole Epstein whatnot. I think he's mostly a distraction. I think they're all involved. I think that mostly do it underground because, you know, there's underground tunnels all over the world. I think in a couple of the next videos I'm going to release, I got some clips about some tunnels. Yeah, I think these people, they, I don't know. It'd be nice to round them all up and, you know, I don't know.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart were already attached. And I was like, these characters are jumping off the page. And my role, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the most popular girl in high school. For some reason, I know how to play that. And then it was such a hit. It was way bigger than I even anticipated. And now, I think we're going to make part 2. I think you have to. I think you, like, have to. They kill you if you try to walk away. And they clone you.
He's joking around. Jack Black is such a... I'd like to punch him in the mouth, really. I probably shouldn't have said that, but, you know, jokingly said that, YouTube. But, yeah, I mean, I think that stuff partially legit. Who knows what all exactly goes on in the industry? I think Hollywood needs taken down, which I think they're kind of doing on purpose. I think that's part of their plan to destroy, you know, everything is they got to destroy Hollywood, too. That's why they're putting out such bad movies and everything like that. But here, I'll play the next one. I don't know about that music, so I silenced the music. Yeah, all these athletes are part of it too, you know? It's a shame. If you're pushed out in the media big time, you're one of them. I don't know. Like, why is his face and why's he got that? I think this guy's videos, he doesn't usually do that, but I don't know. Yeah, I'd say all these athletes are part of it.
Greatest secret ever kept. This reality we live in is not what you think it is. A quick disclaimer, this video will be hard for a lot of people to stomach, but that's part of the process. By all means, if it gets too hard, then scroll, you can always come back to it. First, we'll ask, why are all these buildings around us covered by stories of dirt? All over the world, we see these buildings that are covered by layers of dirt. And at about the same time as these buried structures, we have these massive structures that are built all over the earth, and they have no bathrooms and no kitchens. A lot of times built out of one solid material like marble. Something may be hard to even pull off today, and I know you're asking yourself, how did they do this? Well, the ancient Ethiopian Orthodox Church has the secret, and for some reason it's not mainstream. Buildings like I just showed you built into solid rock in the ground, they said were helped build by angels themselves. Angels are believed to help assist in the construction of the rock-out churches in Libya. I know I pronounced that wrong, it's okay. So maybe these buildings are starting to make sense if literal angels helped them do this. So on the same timeline with actual physical evidence, how did that same period of that amazing architecture end? Not too long after, it ended with huge, insane asylums everywhere. Some people say the ones who went there because they remembered something amazing. A period in time that nobody seems to remember. And also around that same time period, we had the infant incubators pop up. And at the same exact time of the Cabbage Patch Kids. So where did all these kids come from? With all of these insane postcards? It really makes one wonder, huh? And buildings aren't the only thing. These railroad tracks were here before we got here. Seems like people were traveling at this point in time, all the way from Argentina to the North Pole. I wonder what could be up there. Come back to this. So what happened before this whole period of these grand structures? Well, the sun went dark for 18 months. They said much, but in the book History of Wars by Procopius, if I pronounce his name right, a Greek scholar, and he wrote, and it came out during this year, a most dread portent took place, for the sun gave forth its light without brightness, like the moon during this whole year, and it seemed exceedingly like the sun was in an eclipse. Watch this. And from the time when this thing happened, men were free neither from war, nor pestilence, nor any other thing that leadeth to death. So the whole world was in darkness by the sun, and while that was happening, there was pestilence all over the world. I wonder what that could mean. I know, it's very hard to digest all this, but keep going. So in 536 AD that happened? We're gonna pop into Geneva 1570 for hints, but first let's go over here. 536? What's this? Why is this building and this building the same exact building, a picture of the same exact thing, and the dates are off by 1,000 years? Maybe the dating system is wrong. 1732 or J732? 1672 or J672? 1783 or I783? What's an I or a J4? Here's a coin. Jehovah? With the I? The tetragrammaton right here. 1568 or I568? Jehovah again? Just like Jehovah, like YHVH? And again. What is this right here? The official royal motto of King Charles IX of Sweden? And on the statue in Latin it reads, Jehovah Saletium Meum? He was a ruler who highlighted God's name in Hebrew or Latin characters on coins and medals. So just like the coins I was showing you, the Jehovah or Jehovah is synonymous with the J? So let's dig a little bit deeper, because the Byzantine Empire, that empire that lasted 1,000 years, had pictures of Jesus on coins. These coins are referred to as anonymous follies because they do not display the name of the portrait of any reigning emperor, emphasizing instead the religious authority of Christ over the empire. These coins were minted in the millions? Is it just me or is someone not telling us the truth about history? So an I and a J are synonymous with each other in dates, and also like the coins I showed you, synonymous with the name of God. Don't forget, Jesus' name on the cross was in Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, being Yehoshua, Jesus, and Jesus. So back to the dating system being weird, the night the stars fell. Was that really in the 1800s, or was that kind of way back there? Alright, now we're back to the Geneva Bible 1570 for hints. Revelations chapter 13, what do the footnotes say? Why is it talking about Emperor Nero? And literally written right in the footnotes, here's a depiction of the Roman Empire when the beast is coming out the ocean? Meaning Rome because it was the fifth government? And with Rome being like a beast in the 1st century, we had Nero Caesar, and the money shows him turn from man to God? But more than just a god, Apollo! Apollyon, the light bringer. Look at the spines on his head. That grew over time. Did you also know that Nero Caesar literally had a statue made of him? Look at the spines on the head. Okay, why is my man depicted as Lucifer right here? And what's it really mean that the shackles are broken off the feet of Lucifer or Apollo? Fun fact, you know Nero is the one name that equaled both 666 and 616 depending on the language? Both of them. Y'all still with me? We're about to get into the future of where we are now. By the way, this is the UN's decision-making room. Showing right here a beast with a mortal wound by sword, and also some kind of stork that shedded its skin like a snake. And we also have some kind of marriage going on with this dude right here giving a fruit to this girl. Who is the god of this world? Who's controlling this world? I told you guys from the beginning of this video it's going to be a hard one, but if you are open to all information that leads to be true, then maybe you will be able to find out what's going on right now. It's the only way, is to understand what was so you can understand what is now. Back to Revelations 13 in the Geneva Bible. Now, the footnotes were written by John Calvin. Remember though, footnotes are not scripture. They're just people from that era, from that time running what they think. But still, it talks about Satan being loose in the hole, and it says that Satan will be loosed from his 1,000-year prison when Sylvester, the second pope, is on the scene. The reign of Christ is until Pope Sylvester, the second pope. Now it gets pretty weird right here. You ask Google, who's the second pope? Pope Linus. You gotta dig. When I mean dig, I mean Google straight up took his name out, basically. But I did find him from a book that was in the 1500s, or was it I-500? J500. Sylvester appeared off in his golden roll. Golden roll, huh? Born in 1456. This is Pope II. Google calls him Italian theologian. But this ancient book that's in the Vatican's library called the Beehive of Roman Catholicism from the 1500s calls him the Pope. Here's the problem though. All dates, all facts, everything is moved around. We know nothing. All I hope for this video is that we can acknowledge that we really know nothing in the grand scheme, and there's so many hidden things in our past that seem to be very significant. So we have this doomsday map that was brought forth by a necromancy, a divine or a witch who talked to a demon. I wonder if there's any merit here. Do you remember when Arby's just made this commercial, The Return is Here? Talking about like aliens and stuff. They're dumb potato cakes. Do you remember a few years ago when Nashaw did this randomly? Look where we are right now. Do you remember when the Pentagon came out and said this about 1 year ago? I hope you've read it by now. And then back to the UN's decision-making room mural with the beast with a mortal wound by sword and the shedding of the skin. You get what I'm saying? And then we have the Pope, which that same Geneva Bible talks about the Pope also playing a role in Revelations 13. We have him opening all those portals for Christmas in the Jubilee year. The final hour, or the final hour. All I've done in this video is give you information. Let me know what you think and how you're feeling below.
Man, I really like that video. That put out a lot. There's a lot to talk about there. I mean, you can make a whole video in itself about that video and all the stuff he just said. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the early Christian writings, you know, from the first Christians, right, from the first couple hundred centuries and whatnot, right? Um, and you know how those writings are translated. Well, the translator put in words like they're in brackets. Any words in brackets are like the translator's assumptions of what what they were translating, what exactly it meant. So in the brackets, it the words they use make it look like the tribulation and the second coming of Jesus and everything supposed to happen in the future. But if you erase the words that the translators put in that weren't actually in the original, scriptures, or not in the scriptures, but in the original writings, it looks like it already, like the way that the original writers written it looked like past tense things. So I don't know. I always said I was going to make a lot more videos about Little Season and or preterism or those type, and eventually I'm going to. It's just there's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of different theories, and I mean there's a lot of evidence for a lot of stuff, and I know I can't remember if it's Proverbs or Ecclesiastes or I forget one of the books of the Bibles or books of the Bible. I don't remember exactly how the verse goes, but it talks about how the civilization like that you're in won't remember the civilization from before, and then the civilization after the one you're in won't remember this one. So I don't know if that's why I can't, I wish I could remember exactly, but I don't know if that's talking about like because there'll be a reset by man, like man will reset it, or if God will reset things. I'm not sure, but it's all interesting, and I love looking into this kind of stuff. And I know I need to make more videos about it. And I don't know, it's just so interesting.
Myers, the architect of the Texas State Capitol, is just one of those architects we got to talk about, people. Okay, he died in 1909, as this article says, and it gives a little list of a big list. Down at the end, down here, we're going to go through it. So he did the capitals of Michigan, Texas, of course, Colorado, Idaho, and
I'm so sorry. I just thought of something else in that video, the prior video. That guy, his name I believe is Moon Henry. But I don't know, it was under a different name on TikTok where I got these videos. Anyways, I know with Roman numerals, you know how like what is it? You know how he was saying that it was the one like in 1976 or not in like 1586 or something like that, right? How it looks like an I or there's a J, but if the I they're saying it was a one, the number one, but it looks like a Roman numeral. If it's followed by Roman numerals, then it is. But if it's followed by other you know, was it followed by other letters or numbers that aren't in Roman numeral? Then that means it's a letter. Yeah, so that means it does mean I. Whatever I said, 786 or whatever, 15. If sorry, if it looks like 1586, but the one looks like an I, a Roman numeral, then it is an I, and it's talking about in the year of our Lord is what it's saying. You know, I could have explained that a lot better, but I hope you get what I mean.
in Utah, in the Parliament buildings at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. He was a member of the Board of Examiners of the World's Fair buildings in Chicago in 1893. Setting the tone here, there's a bigger list. Let's look at it. If you didn't know what the Michigan Capitol looked like inside, this is what it looks like. This, of course, is the Lansing, Michigan High School. It was started in 1875, and it doesn't matter when it was done. This is a high school, they say. I mean, it's like El Paso High School. It's like, who were these kids? The Pontiac State Hospital, which is making me insane, was started in 1878, and it doesn't matter either when it was done. It had 44 structures. You want to see it? Yeah, that's it. That's all of it. That's all of it. Yeah. In 1895, Elijah did the San Joaquin Courthouse, okay? And look at this right here. Look at these. Look at it. What do you do? Mr. Myers did the Grand Rapids, Michigan City Hall, and he also did his older brother in Richmond, Virginia, their old City Hall, which is still standing today. Let's check out the inside. This is extremely Moorish, too. I know I say it a lot, but I mean, look at it. He also did the Lucerne County Courthouse, which I had no clue that was even a place. This is also the Brazilian Parliament building he did in Rio de Janeiro. So here's the outside of the Michigan State Capitol. You saw the inside of the dome. This is the outside. Magnificent. The Texas State Capitol. 1882 to 1888. Think about it. Elijah wasn't even on set the whole time. Okay? He was going around building all those buildings I just showed you, supposedly. And if you want a more detailed, deep dive, go to my YouTube. There's a video called Don't You Think It's Funny on the Texas State Capitol. And it goes a lot deeper into detail. Okay? Love you. And have a good day.
I haven't checked out this guy's channels before, but I probably will. But another one is My Lunch Break. He goes into a lot about these old buildings that just don't make sense for the time period before to have built these, right? I mean, with no power tools, with horse and buggy, and just how much water, I mean, those horses would need, and it just doesn't make sense. And these buildings were founded. There's just so much. There's so much to all this stuff. There's so many different rabbit holes that go down, and I don't know. I just think they're super interesting. What do you guys think? What's this next one? Let's see.
25. The entire calendar system is a lie. The way time is counted has changed many times in history, and no one knows for sure what year it really is. The calendar we use today was made by people, changed, and adjusted over time. It does not fully match the natural way time moves. The word month comes from moonth. It was originally based on the moon's cycle, which lasts 28 days. If we divide the total days in a year by 28, we get 13 months, not 12. This means something was changed, and we might have lost an entire month. If the way we count time was altered, then the actual year could be different from what we believe. A long time ago, people used the sky to track time. The sun showed the time of day, the moon helped count the days, and the stars marked the changing seasons. Everything in the sky moved in perfect order, helping people know when to plant, harvest, and travel. The calendar we follow today, called the Gregorian calendar, was made to organize time in a way that suited governments and rulers. The word calendar comes from calends, which was the first day of the month in ancient Rome. At that time, people had to pay their debts on calends. This means time was not just about tracking days, it was also linked to money and control. Some people believe that by changing the way time is counted, people were disconnected from nature. Instead of following the natural cycles of the sun, moon, and stars, they were put into an artificial system. This could explain why many feel out of balance without knowing why. Whether or not the real year is different from what we are told, one thing is clear. Timekeeping has been changed more than once. Knowing this might change how we see history, how we live, and how we think about time itself. What year do you think we are in? Let me know in the comment section. Like and follow for more videos like this.
I don't know. Some people think that an extra 1,000 years was added. Some people think a few hundreds. I mean, it's hard telling. Time the calendar has been changed a lot. I would love to know. I'd love to get an overview of the past, or just I don't know. It's not, sometimes you get a little burnout trying to research so many things, just because I mean it's all so interesting, and you just don't know. I mean, I don't know. I would definitely pray, to God and see, maybe He'll reveal stuff. That's what I think He did with me, or with the little season. I don't know. I just feel like there's definitely something to the little season. I think we're probably in it, or at the. I don't know. I go back and forth between preterism, which I know there's different beliefs in preterism and the little season, because I don't know. Like I said, there's just a lot to it. It does seem like stuff's happening now, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe, there's nothing new under the sun. Maybe just certain things happen more than once. I don't know. And obviously not everything in Revelation would happen more than once, but like, I don't know.
A leaked photo beyond the ice wall, as well as who exactly sent it. And this place exists alongside one of the actual areas on the ice wall where there's land, but we're not sure which gate or area in Antarctica this actually is. Now, this isn't a new photo. I'm going to show that one to you next, but this is the one that came out about a year ago, and a lot of people actually think that this one is real. It shows vegetation, an ice wall, and an advanced egg-like type city going on back there. Now, here's a new photo of what is supposedly beyond the ice wall, which shows vegetation next to ice, which is what Admiral Byrd talked about when he flew over Antarctica. And a lot of people are thinking that this is actually up close to that egg-like type city. And now let me tell you who actually leaked this photo. The person who leaked it on their Telegram was Valiant Thor, who, if you've never heard of him, he's from Venus supposedly, and he came to Earth in the 1950s. I also did a reverse image search to see if this was from Greenland or something, but I couldn't find anything, and that's because this is unlike anything we've ever seen before, where there's ice right next to healthy green vegetation. It'd have to be super cold for the ice to stay in a formation just like that. And I also don't think this is AI generated because there's no abnormalities in the grass or anything.
What do you think about that? And that guy saying he came from Venus. I mean, if there are, continents outside of the ice wall, and if you call one of them Venus, then maybe. But I don't think he came from another planet because I just, I don't know. I just don't think so. I don't know. I don't think the world is shaped the way they tell us. Flat Earth, it could be flat, like within a dome, like the firmament, or I don't know, maybe the Earth's like shaped like a, I don't know. You know what I mean? I just think I don't think it's the way they tell us. I think we're fed a bunch of lies. So it's just hard to discern all the truth. I know the Bible to be true. That's what I believe. I know Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. That's what I believe. I understand if you guys don't believe that, but you know, I pray that you do. Anyways, I appreciate you watching, and I'm gonna try to release a video every day to every 2 days, at least a reaction video. I like making Christian content also, so I appreciate your time, and I don't know, maybe watch the next video that's gonna display at the end here in a second. Anyways, thank you. God bless you, and have an awesome day.